I'm going to turn it over to Chad, who's going to tell us a little bit about this new resource that we have for our students.
Good morning, everyone. Good to hang with you all for a few minutes. I don't know if you remember me or not, but I was here a few months back. My name is Chad Castreet. I'm the founder of an organization, a social mission known as Solace. And just some housekeeping things. I have a stack of these postcards, so if you don't have that, when you walk in, make sure you grab some of those. I also have this green notebook. If you can put your name, email, phone number, and school information in there, so we can have connection with you and let you know of what we're up to and things that you can take advantage of through our resource. So if you remember, Care Solace has two missions, really two parts of our mission. First and foremost, we want to break down the barriers to accessing resources, right? I mean, parents should not have to wait. They shouldn't have to wait 3 days, 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 months. They should be directed the first time around to the right resource. They shouldn't have to figure out, well, now my Medi-Cal is not up to date. Where do I go? And this place won't take me. And where do I go now? So we want to make sure parents go to the right place the first time and make it a customer service experience that they never had before. And that's what we're about. We're about breaking down the barriers and clearing a pathway right into care for every single parent, regardless of income, age, gender, race, where you live, all that. The second part of our mission is about safe and ethical and vetted and monitored care. We don't want to rely on the Los Angeles County Behavioral Health Department. We don't want to rely on 211 LA. We don't want to rely on anybody, but we have control of ourselves to actually monitor these and vet these programs ourselves. So what we've done is spent 2 years at this and vetting and putting in the right resources that have a care score higher than 75 or above, and that meet very strict requirements. You have to be 5 years in business. You have to be accredited. You have to have therapists that are up to date with their licensing. You can't have any lawsuits. You got to be financially solvent. You can't have any rip-off reports or customer complaints. So we monitor that on your behalf because you all are referring care on the front lines, and it's vital that parents know about if that counseling agency has a major customer complaint and why. It's our job to update you on that, making sure that we have safe, clean, ethical, and vetted care within our system. So obviously that's important because of my background and why I started this mission. I just want to share with that you all because it's important to our cause. You know, in 2011, that's what happened to me, right? I struggled with depression. I started to use and abuse drugs and alcohol, and I ended up in the wrong hands through a simple Google search. And I realized that my parents that went on to Google, 70 million parents do that a year, and the practices on Google, which is where most parents go to search for help, they keep it isolated, they keep it confidential, they keep it anonymous, and they think it's an easy way to get access to resources. It's a very dangerous way to get access to resources. A lot of marketing practices, people are brokered out to a paying network of Medi-Cal providers, Kaiser providers, PPO providers, and so on and so forth. So we wanted to create this community of care that's safe, ethical, so they can land into a seamless route of resources. So let's bring you to our site here and walk you through that. Actually, before I do that, I want to just bring up a couple examples. We had I may have shared this before, but we had a thing. This is at Huntington Beach School District. Basically, they had a student come in. The school psychologist ascertained the situation and basically said, we had a student several weeks ago come in with severe mental health issues that could have been a potential risk to himself or to other people. When I met the student, I directed the parent to your website, and she was struggling to find the kind of support for her child. By the time she finished interviewing the child, I determined he needed immediate emergency care. And by the time the parent arrived at the school less than 1 hour later, she already had an appointment set up the same day, and she shared it would have taken 3 weeks to get an appointment before using a resource. So again, school safety is a big topic, obviously, but mental health is a piece of that. We want to make sure parents have access to resources right now and not waiting any time. So this is our website. The first part of it is a talk to us button. Really important here. So we're 24/7 support. We speak Spanish. Parents can contact us any point of time and any point of day. They can email us at weserve@caresolace.org, which is on that postcard there, or they can pick up the phone and dial us. And we get about 40 to 50 calls and emails per day from parents. Last year, we helped a little more than 36,000 families get access to resources. So, we're very busy. We have a lot of support. We have a lot of people there to help and serve parents and you all in need. We'll talk more about that in just a second. We have a language navigation. So this tool, you'll see our link, and a link that's on that postcard. It's caresolace.com/PUSD parents. caresolace.com/PUSD parents. Doesn't require a login. You just push this to the family, they click on it, and they can navigate, and I'll show you how simple it is to navigate and pull the right resource for them. But they can click on the language here and say if they want Spanish, they'll convert to Spanish, Armenian, Chinese, Korean, Vietnamese, and so on and so forth. So they have that tool accessible, and if there's any language that you want in there, let us know, and we'll add in language. It takes us 2 days to do that on your behalf. So what are you struggling with? We have two sides of the DSM-5 categorical screening that I'm going to walk you through. Number one is mental health. We have bipolar, depression, anxiety, suicidal ideation, obsessive compulsive and related disorders, trauma, stress, feeding and eating, disruptive and impulsive control, neurodevelopment. On the substance abuse side, we have alcohol, cannabis, hallucinogens, inhalants, opiates, all with examples to the right. All right, so we see on the elementary level, obviously we see a lot of depression, anxiety, sometimes suicidal ideation, a lot of trauma. So let's just start with that. I'll click on step 2 of 8. We have this is brand new. We just launched this about a month ago. We have a severity now filter. And that's really important because it filters the modality of care, the pathway of care based on severity. If somebody sees a therapist and that's not working for them and they need to increase the touches, maybe a little more intense pathway, that's the pathway they need. If therapy is just not sticking for that child or that family member, and we need to know about the severity if possible. So what we do is let's just put on medium just as an example. We'll click on step 3 of 10. Has the person seen a therapist? Yes or no, very simple. Just click on yes if they've seen a school psychologist and have already been down that pathway. Would you like to continue with therapy or move to an outpatient pathway of care? Let's just click on outpatient as an example. Click on step 4 of 10. Is the person willing to get help? Really important. I don't know if you remember this question, but if the student is not willing, that's a problem, right? If this parent is not willing to get them into care, that's a problem. And so we have a team of interventionists that will craft an intervention with that family, with the family member, with the staff to be able to convert a no to yes. Last year we had about 2,600 interventions. 67% of them were moved from a no to a yes. So we're making progress. So take advantage of that if you can through us. Male, female, or transgender. Age 4 to 11, adolescents, senior adults, doesn't make a difference. We'll put on children here as an example. So there's 2 reasons why parents don't get access to care. Number one, they just don't know where to go, right? They don't know where to start or how to go about this, let alone the cost, let alone if their Medi-Cal covers it or Kaiser, whoever they have covers it. So we've taken that ambiguity out. We've integrated with every single insurance company in the U.S. to make it easy and seamless for them to understand if something's covered or something's not. So they can click K for Kaiser, A for Anthem Blue Cross, or just click on Medi-Cal or I don't know. The zip code here is 9 what? 073. And then we have a miles radius of all of our care. So we have 3,600 programs in Southern California built in by insurance. And so, just you can filter by radius. So click on 5, see what pops up. We require an email from you all if you're care coordinating or referring on behalf of the parent, or just send them the link and the parent can put in their email address. And then we will send them our We Serve email so that they know about us and we can better serve them if they have any questions. And these are some of the programs that pop up that we have vetted, that we're constantly monitoring, and that have the ability to help this student, in this case, out right now. Some of these you may be familiar with, some of you may not. Ones that, I talked to Manuel about this, so if you all are using resources now, please, you can email that to our weserve@caresolace.org. We'll give you a vetted report if you don't see it in here and tell you maybe why it's not in there or the reason it should be in there. And then if it's not in there, it passes the CARE score of 75 or higher, we'll build it in there. But let's talk about why these popped up here. The first reason it popped up is because of the DSM-5 match. So what are you struggling with? The categorical DSM-5 situation and issue tied to that vetted process of that agency and that specialization based on licensing and accreditation of that agency matched to that. That's the first way. The second way is in mileage. Mileage is really important, obviously, for families that don't have the time to drive long places, so that's really important. The third is CARE score. They have to have a 75 or higher, and making sure that they're clean, that they don't have minimal and light complaints, years in business, probations, and all that is accumulated into that CARE score. And then the most important thing that we launched this year is wait time and availability. So we've integrated with wait time and availability in every single agency. So now that pops up. We do not want parents to wait at all, right? We want them to get into care at the lowest wait time available for them. So these are called microsites. I don't know if I shared this with you last time. I'll give you an example. We interviewed about 32,000 plus parents last year, and they basically told us that Medi-Cal websites are awful. They said that they just have to become great researchers. Many of them don't speak English, and they wanted the ability to be able to have a dashboard of what this resource does and how it applies to their situation and their family. So we gave them that lens, that short lens of types of treatment, ages treated based on their accreditation and licensing, genders treated, language preference, verifications, problems, services, about us, all that relevant information, staff that will be treating them, and those types of things. This is a direct phone number to the clinical and admissions team there, so they don't have to go through a lengthy voicemail system. They can click to the website if they like. And then we also have the video chat capability. So parents are really busy people. I don't know if this is going to pop up or not, but let's give it a shot. If the school district internet will allow us to. Perfect. So basically, what we've done here, this is the video chat capability. So if a family just is busy, they're at work, and they don't have time to drive, the protocols of these programs is that they do a phone screening, then they have you come in and do an actual on-site assessment so they can assess the situation. And then once you go through that, they typically tell you when you can be seen. And there's typically a wait time involved with that, especially if it's for therapy on Medi-Cal side for mental health. And so what we try to do is make it easy for parents if they have these tools to be able to pull this up and click on our website to pull this up, to be able to show their Medi-Cal card, get to know the clinical staff, make sure this is the right fit for them, ask questions, run the verification of benefits, get assessment remotely as opposed to driving there before they make their decisions. If that agency is not using our video chat capability or the clinician is not available, it routes them to one of our care brothers in our offices in San Diego. This is Kelvin. I don't know. Kelvin, are you available?
Hey.
Hey, how are you? Yeah, thanks. Sorry to interrupt you. Thanks for popping in and just showing the capability. Thank you. All right, bye-bye. So basically, I want to pause here and talk about something really important that we're really proud of. So what we've learned in doing this for the last year and a half is that it's great to refer care. That's wonderful, to the right resource. But there's a gap between referring care and actually taking advantage of the resource, actually getting into care. There's a big gap there and a big outcome problem. So what we've learned through the data that we have is that parents just on average don't take advantage of the resources. They sit on it. Meanwhile, what happens? You all have to follow up with a parent and say, "Hi, Mrs. Hernandez, did you take advantage of those 3 resources I gave you last week? Have you been admitted? Did you make a call? Was there an assessment?" So you all have that going on. We're doing that for you now. Care Brothers and our Care Sisters program has filled that gap. It's on us. And I'll explain how this works. It's on us now to make sure once a referral happens that they actually see through that resource and get into care. And we literally put them right at the doorstep. Let me tell you how this works. So what you do, you'll be designated a care brother here. His name is Daniel Schwartz. I just hired him. He's on vacation right now, but I wish he was here. Yeah. He's not. He doesn't go to Thailand and Cabo and all that. So he's just starting with us and going through finishing up his training with us. But he has a little family break here. And so I'm going to introduce you guys virtually to him, but he's going to be your designated go-to. And basically what happens is you just push the parent our link, tell them they can go through the resource, or you can go through the resource yourself and do the search that I did and click share. Do you see the share button here? You can click share. This pops up, copy and paste that link and email it to the family, or just send them the PUSD parents link that I gave you, and then what you'll want to do, once you send it to them, say, would you like to receive a call from one of the care brothers from Care Solace, or the care sisters of Care Solace? And then if they say yes, give us their contact. We'll call them within 15 minutes, and we'll take it from there. And we'll do everything for them. We'll navigate their insurance. If they don't have Medi-Cal, we'll figure all that for them. They just need to sit back, give us about 30 minutes, and we'll find the right resource for them.